That's what she said. Yeah. In perpetual motion. We can go
All
all
night
night.
long, baby.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Welcome to Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD necessary.
We're the podcast that recaps all episodes of The Big Bang Theory. No spoilers.
So hop into your favorite spot.
Make yourself a grasshopper and enjoy the ride.
Hello there, Ryan.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great because we just watched the Bat Jar Conjecture. Conjecture? Conjecture.
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 Crap. Are we screwing this up?
Already. So it begins.
For any new listeners out there, we are Theoretical Nonsense, the podcast that recaps, reviews, and deep dives facts from the Big Bang Theory, which we call IQ points. And as a reminder, as always, to everyone, this is Ryan's first time watching the Big Bang Theory, and I've seen it several times. So we also keep tallies about how similar Ryan is to Sheldon. So where are we at?
Let me bring it up really quick. I forgot to bring it up. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, while Ryan's looking that up, we're off to a rough start. But a little bit of housekeeping. Follow us on Instagram. Our account is at Theoretical Nonsense Pod. We have an email where we communicate with you all. It is theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com, and those are in the show notes. And anyone that gives us a 5-star review, or apparently just a Harry Potter fan, we'll give them a shout out. Yeah. And we'll read your email and your reviews.
Even if you request we don't. No, if you say keep it private, we won't, but yeah. We will, but yeah.
Yeah, but the email's looking a little lonely.
Yeah, we did get one. I was going to mention that it was something to verify our podcasts on different sources, and I'm curious if we'll have to talk about whether or not people are trying to scam us into signing up for stuff, or if we got some legitimate stuff going on.
Oh. Well, we'll find out.
That's for next time.
Yeah. If we run out of money, then we did get scammed.
We got scammed, and now I'm missing my liver.
I actually took it.
This
Self-scam.
Every time, Rob. Okay, so we have 13 points for me not being like Sheldon, and 15 for me being like Sheldon. And we got some more coming up this episode.
This was I'm going to say this was a very fun episode. I really like this one.
It was a fun episode. You know, I think I liked the last one more, but this one still, I enjoyed it compared to some of the slower ones we've had. This one I liked.
Yeah. Anything where Sheldon kind of gets his comeuppance, I really enjoy.
Yes. And the twist.
There's so much research, and I'm going to fully admit, like, I didn't do that much research on the actual quizzes or the actual like competition stuff, because I just kind of took it as like, you know what, they asked a question, they answered it correctly. They make it very clear that all the science-based stuff in this show is very real and factual. So it's like, you know what, I don't need to look into that.
Yeah, I basically confirmed true or false, and from what I'm seeing, almost everything's true.
Because most of them were actually very... I started looking into like a lot of them, and they were... Shit, man. They would take forever to go over.
Well, when you get to understand where the explanation, you have to know math. Like, it's like, here's the explanation. It just brings up a math formula, and it's like, I can't read that. I don't know what that means. Like the Casimir effect, the ETA, the Eta Meson, stuff like that. It's like, oh my god. Yeah.
You start looking into that, it's like, dude, it would take up like the entire hour just to go over that.
Isis Penn singlet partner of the Pi Zero Mason. Whoa.
I did more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do Vulcans procreate?
Nice.
But we'll get into that later. So you told us while we were off air, Ryan told me that he may have been spoiled on the series.
Yeah. So this is my first time watching, and I'm going in like completely new. So if you don't know how new I am, I knew that there is another female character coming on named is her name Miam Bialik?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the actor's name.
Okay, so I know she was going to come on just because I know there's been some discussion of her doing Jeopardy now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know who she was or what part she was going to play, but I was watching. I don't even watch sports, but I was watching a.
You said baseball game?
Baseball game, Mariners.
It was that Mariners game that went up to like 18 innings?
Yeah, it was like during the 18th inning. It just kept going. It was funny because I'm like, how long do baseball games last? Like 8 hours? My friends are like, no, 2 or 3. And around hour 6, they're like, okay, Ryan might be right.
And just like that, baseball ruins another life.
Yes. And so in this commercial, I saw Sheldon kissing this girl, so I guess she's going to become a romantic partner. Slight spoiler.
Yeah.
Who could have known? In the 18th inning of a game, of a baseball game, I would have all been ruined.
I can't believe you lasted that long.
Right? Like, I knew she was going to come in, but I really thought she was going to be Howard or Raj's girlfriend. I had no idea what it is.
Oh, I meant the baseball game. How'd you last, like, being at your friend's place for that long?
Well, I came in around inning like 9.
Oh, so you expected the game to be over.
Yeah, I came in at that, like, this is supposed to be the end. And then I kept trying to leave, and they're like, this is history, Ryan. You can't leave now. I'm like, okay.
It's not that big of history.
18th inning.
Well, sorry you got spoiled, but at the same time, it gives you something to look forward to now.
Right.
A little hint nugget, if you will.
And likely most people in the world knew exactly what that commercial, like that Sheldon was going to have romance. I'm surprised I didn't think of it.
It was a big deal. It's a very monumental, many monumental moments.
It's like a Ross and Rachel type thing, I'm guessing.
Less annoying. Well,
JD and Blonde Doctor.
Depends how you think. Less annoying, but depends how you think about what you feel is annoying about them. Ross and Rachel was just annoying after a while. It's like, just get over it. Just hook up.
That's why I feel like Friends kind of turned into Chandler and Monica for me. Like, I love their relationship through the whole thing.
Yeah, I really like them too.
Yeah. So screw Ross and Rachel. I'm Chandler and Monica.
Oh, yeah. Shamo all the way.
Yeah. Shamo.
All right. Before we get started, also, I've been mentioning that towards the end of the season, Ryan and I want to do some superlatives. You know, like favorite character, favorite guest character, favorite episode, favorite IQ points. So, any audience member, if you're actually keeping track of this or have made something more noteworthy in our podcast, feel free to just email us and we'll read it out during our season 1 recap.
Keep note of it and talk about it.
Yeah. So Ryan, I think you're leading this one.
Oh, I thought you were leading it.
Did I not update this one? Okay, I'll lead it. Yeah, I guess I didn't update that part. All right, so update. All right, cool.
I think I can take over, but
don't worry, I got this.
When I was doing all the questions and IQ points, I'm like, oh, I'm glad he's leading it.
No, I am ready. I can lead the next one too. I fucking crushed that one. Nice. So yeah, we're getting ahead on recording. So we'll talk more about that later, but my baby is due very soon, so we're trying to get ahead of some recording. And I just watched the Nerdvana Annihilation. Did you watch it yet?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. I really like that episode. That was a fun one. But more on that later. We're here to talk about season 1, episode 13, the Bat Jar Conjecture. Aired April 21st, 2008. Written by Chuck Lorre, Bill Prady, and the teleplay by Robert Cohen. Directed by, seems like every week, it's Mark Sendrowski.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of the directing. I looked, and the third writer of the teleplay is changing from person to person, but I think the director's staying the same.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing too.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in.
Okay.
So, opening scene, the guys are eating dinner and they're discussing details of the upcoming Star Trek movie, because there is a scene depicting Spock's birth. But Raj is more interested in Spock's conception. I would be too.
Yeah, and I didn't think about it, but Vulcans are not humans, so they're like in the Star Trek universe, right? You get the Klingons, right? That are like the troll.
Are you a Star? I take it you're not a Star Trek fan then.
No, not that much. But like in the
I'm not either. So
comparison of Star Trek to like fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, you get humans. There's humans in both of them, and then you get is it Klingons that are like the ogres, and then you get Vulcans that are like elves.
Then what about the Romulans?
Which ones are the Romulans? I don't know. They live in the Shire, right?
They must be the Hobbit-like creatures then.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, sidebar, are you still watching Rings of Power?
No, I haven't watched any more.
Yeah, I'm on episode 5. It's been really slow for me. I just haven't been plowing through it. We won't go into spoilers, but if anybody is interested, we actually did our first initial thoughts on it in a previous episode.
I want to catch up with it. I've heard mixed reviews, and I'm not expecting a whole lot, but it's enough. It's got my attention, so I'm gonna keep up with it. I just haven't had. Well, October is my month for scary stuff, so I've been plowing through horror like nobody's business.
All right. Any recommendations? It's Halloween, so any recommendations for anybody out there? We're airing before Halloween. Yeah.
Nothing good.
Anything noteworthy? Nothing at all.
Man,
well, while you're thinking, I only know this because Christina and I watched this at your house. I think it's called Mommy Dearest or Mother or something like that. About the twins.
Oh, you were here for that.
Yeah, we watched that. I think it's around the time you met Christina.
Yeah.
And they're making an American version of it.
On Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just saw that and I was like, oh, because I always think about that movie, I still remember it so vividly. It was so good. Holy shit.
I remember trying to talk people into it, and we have a friend who was not into horror movies. I'm like, it's not that violent. Don't worry about it. Apparently it was. My concept of not too violent or gory is very...
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's more psychological, but
yeah,
I did notice. I was going to say horror movie. I just watched X with Mia Goth, and I do believe Mia Goth is the current queen of horror right now. She is amazing. And there's a prequel that I haven't watched yet, but apparently it's a prequel. But this new one, X, with Mia Goth and Brittany Snow, and I want to say it's the girl who's going to play Wednesday Addams. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think I know this because every other ad on Instagram, I'm getting that trailer. They're blasting it so much.
I loved it. It's a reverse gender perception where it's like in most movies, it's the male gaze. And this plays with the idea of male gaze and turning it into female gaze and the dangers. It's playing with it a little bit, and I loved it.
You know what? Girls can be pervy and psychotic too.
That is true.
Equal opportunity.
Everybody can be pervy and psychotic. It's a free world.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for the recommendation. Back to Big Bang Theory. Sorry about deviating. Hopefully everybody enjoys those little rants.
Oh, I had one more thing. Star Trek. I don't know about Romulans, but Burt Borg are the necromancers. They're the zombies.
Oh.
So we got like the zombies, the ogres.
I don't know why I'm not into Star Trek. I think by the time I was cognitive and I knew what Star Trek was, I feel like there was too many different series out there, so I had no idea where to begin, and that's what kind of threw me off. And that's why it's like, well, if I don't know where to start, I'm just not going to start it at all. And
Yeah.
so my cousin came and visited me, and when I was getting lunch with her, I found out that she was this huge Star Trek fan, like huge, like goes to like the cons that are just for Star Trek, not even just Comic-Con, but she goes to those. She loves it and everything like that. So I was asking her, I was like, well, where should I start? What should I do and everything? And she just said start with the original series from like the 60s.
Whoa.
So I watched it. I watched the first episode and it was a mind fuck. I was like, dude, this proves that everybody was like super on drugs in the 60s. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Where am I?
So trippy. And I feel like I would love the premise of Star Trek because it's Earthlings in the future exploring different worlds. That just sounds amazing in itself. But for some reason, I just can't get into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I've watched, The Next Generation. I've seen a few episodes of, mostly because love Patrick Stewart. And then I watched some of Voyager because I got into it in the 90s when I found out who the Borg were, and this notion that there was like a storyline where they humans get in a fight with the Borg because the Borg have opened up an inner space dimension and monstrous aliens have come out and are killing everybody. That's what I remember it being, and I'm like, I need to watch this. And then it was like 2 episodes and the Borg went away and I stopped watching.
And I became significantly less interested.
Yeah. But I tell you, that's where 7 of 9 came from, and she's still, she is a hero to be said.
Wait, who?
7 of 9?
709, is that a name of a Borg?
7 of 9. She was a Borg. Well, she was human, got turned into a Borg, and then humans turned her back into human. But she's also like halfway Borg still because her mind like doesn't completely, and she has like computer attachments on her, and she's just
awesome. Okay, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Well, all this leads to our first IQ point. So I wanted to know how Vulcans procreate. Because the way that the guys talked about it, since neither of us really know anything about Star Trek, when they were talking about it on the show, they made it seem like it was such an odd thing that there's going to be a scene depicting Spock's birth. So I was like, well, what's the big deal? They're just giving birth. So it just kind of clicked in that there must be some sort of mating ritual or something, because I know that Spock is half human. So I wasn't sure if there was something revolving around that.
And the big thing is Vulcans are not allowed to show or have emotion. So how can you procreate without emotion?
This is how. They undergo something called Ponfar. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry for any Star Trek fans out there. So I found all this on fandom. So let us know if we got this right or wrong. Maybe they got it wrong. So it's the internet. Who knows? But Ponfar is the Vulcan time of mating, which was very secretive. During Ponfar, adult Vulcans undergo a neurochemical imbalance that take on a form of madness. A Vulcan can die within 8 days if their Ponfar is not satiated. Vulcan males experience this every 7 years of their adult life. So basically, they go into I associate this with like being in heat.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Like they just have this overwhelming urge to mate.
To procreate.
And there are different stages. And the final stage of Ponfar is called plateau, which translates to blood fever. And it was characterized by irrational and instinctive-driven behavior, a combative nature with a high fever. So they basically will go on like a killing spree. And there are 3 options for Vulcans to end their Ponfar. They could either take a mate, they could participate in Call Ifi, which is a fight to the death, or intensive meditation. However, the writers actually did a little bit of explanation, because when this first came about, the fans were taking it a little too literal. Like, they only have sex every 7 years. But according to one of the original series writers, they explained that this doesn't mean that Vulcans only have sex once every 7 years. It's just that they have the biological urge every 7 years.
That makes sense. It kind of reminds me of that Futurama where all the
Zoidberg, yes. Zoidberg, that's exactly right? what I was thinking about too. How he had to like fight somebody. He wanted to mate with someone, but she had already chosen somebody else. Mm-hmm. So he had to fight that other crab to win the affection of the girl that he wanted to mate with. That's exactly like what this is. I wonder if they just got that from Star Trek.
I bet they did. In fact, I think that they had some music in there too. Maybe I'm making that up. That seemed like it was from a show. Like, I'm like, I should probably know what this song's from, but I did not. But don't they after they mate, they all die?
In Futurama, yep. So Zoidberg dodged a bullet. Well, after that, Penny pops over and she needs computer help because she spilled Diet Coke and yogurt and nail polish all over her keyboard. So I did a little bit of research on how you clean a keyboard. Did you do anything like that? Or
I didn't. I made notes of the things she spilled on it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. Although I would think nail polish, that's something that you don't clean up out of a keyboard.
Yeah. This got really, because I was thinking like, man, that's some pretty extreme stuff. And then I kind of thought about it, how with my laptop, I have a MacBook Pro, so then it's not something that's easily cleanable. It's not something that you can actually pop off the face or anything. So I just dove down for my own personal benefit. So I found all this on wikihow.com. So normal stuff like dirt and debris. Always shut down your computer and unplug all the devices. Then flip over your keyboard and shake out any loose debris. Use compressed air. Yep, shake it out. Shake out all the big shit. Use compressed air at all angles to kind of get through some other debris. And then if there's still more, use a vacuum with a brush attachment. And then clean around the keys with a cotton swab dipped in isopropyl alcohol. That'll get rid of any of the oils or any stubborn stuff. Or use a microfiber cloth wrapped around like a knife and then kind of just like scrape around it. Oh. And then you could just scrub the keyboard with a dampened cloth in the isopropyl alcohol. Just dampen it slightly and just kind of wipe it. So that's for just regular dirt and debris.
You should have the computer off, right? Power off?
Yeah.
All right.
First thing. Shut down. Unplug everything. And then for treating liquid spills, start off with the same thing. Shut the computer down, unplug all the devices, turn out the keyboard, shake out any liquid, then dry it with a microfiber cloth. Don't flip it back over until everything is dry. So you may have to leave it for like a few hours or overnight. So leave your keyboard upside down. Let it air dry for about 24 hours. And then test each key for stickiness. You may have to, if you're able to, you could remove the keys or the buttons with like a knife or something like that, and then individually wash.
I have an Apple too, a MacBook Pro, and I feel like if I take one of these keys off, they are not going back on. I'm afraid of breaking it.
I know, like something happens to this, it's pretty like, well, that goes into like some of like the more extreme stuff. So there are like following more directions on the intensity of this. There's a way for some keyboards you could actually clean the inside of it, like fully on the inside. So depending on your keyboard, if there's screws underneath, you would follow all the exact same steps as before. Shut down, unplug, and then flip it over, use a screwdriver to open up the panel on the bottom, and then you pretty much just wipe it out. Take a picture of your keyboard so you know where all the buttons are, and then just kind of like pop them out. Because some keyboards are different. Some of like the cheaper ones, you could actually just take like a butter knife or something, wedge it underneath your keys, and kind of just pop them out. But some of the other more extreme ones, they're actually screwed on underneath. So once you undo the bottom plate, you actually have to flip them over and unscrew them. Never seen that before, but apparently you could actually just take off all the buttons and then just throw them in some warm water with a little bit of soap to kind of soak them, scrub them, and then for the bottom plate with all the actual like connectors and everything, just use again either a towel or a microfiber cloth with the isopropyl alcohol and just kind of wipe carefully. Wipe. And then let it dry for 2 to 3 days.
So I think what we're saying is we need to invent a dishwasher-safe keyboard.
Yeah, we really should. With all the spills that people do.
Right? It's going to happen. If they manage to make cell phones water resistant, we can do it.
Yeah. So I watched this video of this guy who... as I was like I was like really down to, I went down the rabbit hole in this one, but one guy to like illustrate how well you should be cleaning it, he actually took like a bottle of Coke and just poured the whole thing over his laptop. And then so this didn't go as well as he thought it was going to go. Spoiler alert, don't do this. But the first thing that you want to do is shut your computer down, remove the battery, just pull off as much of the hardware as possible, because if it's still on and there's liquid within it, it could fry your circuits. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you want to do is shut down, remove the battery, any other pieces, just unplug as much as you can. And then the guy actually took his entire laptop and pretty much just ran it underwater and scrubbed it. Then he let it dry for 72 hours and it turned back on.
Whoa.
But where it was only 90% functional was that like his mouse track didn't work. So not the best thing, but it did salvage a little bit. At least got all the Coke out.
That's true. I don't know if it was worth the price he paid for the laptop, but
all for a video.
Yeah. Hope he got the views he needed to pay for that.
Yeah. But all the advice says that when in doubt, seek professional help. So that is actually what Penny did. She took it to Leonard.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like therapy.
Oh, no. What are you doing with yogurt and nail polish on your computer?
What did I do with my laptop?
But that's how you clean your keyboard, everyone. And you should do it pretty often because your keyboard is actually really dirty if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's filthy because people don't really wash their hands. They're always on their computer. They're typing. They're eating chips. They're jerking off. I don't know.
One-handed typing. Yeah. Sucking their fingers as they lick their cheesy puff fingers.
Yeah. I actually oh my god, I had Flaming Hot Cheetos for the first time, in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
I was eating it as I was doing research for Nerdvana. And I actually used chopsticks to eat them. So little advice for everyone out there. If you don't want to get your hands all cheesy, use chopsticks.
Thinking outside the bag. Ha ha
ha. All right. Well, anyways, anything else on keyboards?
No, I think that's good. I use compressed air. I feel like it gives me something to breathe and it blows dry stuff out, and that's the most I can do.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they just got word that a physics bowl team that is their big competition dropped out to form a barbershop quartet and are playing at Knott's Berry Farm. So for anyone that cares, Knott's Berry Farm is a California-based theme park, 57 acres in Buena Park, California. And apparently in 2015, it was the 12th most visited theme park in North America. Fun fact.
I've never even heard of it.
I've only heard of it because of this show. Yeah, but... So as they're talking about the physics bowl, Penny realizes that, oh my god, in your world, you're the cool guys.
And they all agree, right?
Yep. And with that team out of the picture, they actually have a chance to win. They make a Superman reference. All will kneel before Zod, and Raj speaks. Unknowingly, he speaks again in front of Penny and catches it very quickly.
It covers his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Panic attack.
What have I done?
Well, as they talk about it, Sheldon declares that he is out because something like this is just beneath him. And that's just like doing the speech in episode 9. He doesn't want to, I guess, perform in front of lesser beings.
Which is weird because it's contradicting, because his nature is also to always be the best.
Yeah, you'd think that he would be competitive.
Yeah. And that becomes a part of the episode, is that if he's not the best, what is he? In this case, he doesn't want to perform, maybe out of fear that he might not be the best. It's easier to pretend he is the whole time.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a little front that he's doing where it's like, if I don't do it, no one will know, but they'll think that I'm the best.
Yeah. I know I'm the best. I don't have to prove it, but if I do, oh no, right?
Crap.
Oh, shit.
Well, Sheldon says you wouldn't ask Picasso to play Pictionary. You wouldn't ask Noah Webster to play Boggle, or Jacques Cousteau to play Go Fish. And then they outsmart him by quoting Spock. Apparently it's his dying words.
They turn it back to Star Trek, right?
Yep, back to Star Trek. Lots of Star Trek stuff in this episode.
I've heard these words before. I did not know they were his dying words.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. And I looked this up because I did a lot of philosophy in college, and I recognize this as a utilitarian thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
a little bit.
It pretty much, those words sum up the entire core concept of it. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, where utilitarian says the greatest good for the greatest number. So it's pretty much like, I remember one of the extreme examples is that there's 4 people, 3 of them are sick, and there's 1 healthy person. You kill the healthy person and you cure the sick people. Or something like that. It's like 1 person needs a heart, 1 person needs a liver, 1 person needs an arm, or something like that.
And like, chop up his organs to go to the 3 sick people.
Because it's the greatest good for the greatest number. I remember like hearing that in college as like an extreme example of utilitarian.
Yeah. And, it brings up quite a few moral dilemmas, but it makes sense with Spock's Vulcan heritage that they are unemotional. Yeah, and really about pragmatism and making things work. But us humans, we don't necessarily agree with that. I like my liver and kidneys just fine where they are.
We're all about the independent. I'm out for number 1.
I don't care if there's 3 sick people. I'm fine where I am. Where's my beer?
Well, on that note, we make it to the theme, and then on to the next scene.
So the first order... that Sheldon just agrees, like, you got me, okay. Like, it's almost instantly.
That's one thing I do like about Sheldon, is that, because I guess I feel like I'm a very logical person, and some people say in a different life I would have been a lawyer, just because I really like enjoy logic and kind of like looking for like logistical parallels and things like that. So Sheldon is the same way, where it's like, okay, if this makes sense, if you show me the logic and how this applies to me, I will follow it.
I'll agree. I just need to be shown logically.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I respect that.
Well, the first order of business is that they need a team name.
And right now we get 1 point for me being like Howard versus Sheldon. I like the team name Perpetual Motion.
Oh, you like that better than the Army Ants?
Yes. It is the notion of a double entendre of a two-meaning phrase or word that has two meanings, and one's kind of risque. I love making jokes like that. The whole that's what she said. Yeah. In perpetual motion. We can go all night. Long, baby. Yeah. Oh man. I don't like to side with Howard all that often, but with this, he made me laugh there. All night.
Well, Sheldon says that team names should be named after an animal to intimidate their opponents. Raj suggests the Bengal Tigers, but then I said tires.
Tires?
The Bengal Tigers.
Oh no. We're the tires. We're roll over you.
My tank's running out on empty. It's been a long couple of weeks.
That's fair.
Well, Sheldon suggests the Army Ants because pound for pound, they are the strongest animal. So that leads to the next IQ point.
Next IQ point.
Yep. Sheldon says gram for gram, no animal exceeds the relative fighting strength of the Army Ants. So what are the strongest animals in the world? Did you do anything on this?
Oh, I just went straight into ants.
Oh. All right. Do we want to talk ants first, or do you want to talk...
I'll start off with the ants and see where you go.
Yeah, let's go with ants.
And I found some different stuff around the internet, but nothing, I couldn't find any hardcore scholarly research. And I'm guessing it's out there somewhere, but I couldn't find it. But schoolofbugs.com says that ants, variety of ants, typically are known to lift between 10 to 50 times their body weight, and suggested that there are some studies that some ants can lift up to like 5,000 times their body weight. There's like all these unknowns and kind of studies going on, but I think army ants were stated to be about 20 times their own body weight. And it's not like they can lift a lot, it's just that they are developed to be able to hold a lot. And what makes them scary is that they, like the name says, army ants, that they go on raids and they work so efficiently together, and they have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands working together, so that if they do work together, they can basically strip the flesh off a bone within a minute or a couple minutes if they're working together. So it's not even how strong they are as an individual, which is strong enough, but by working together, they can just crush anything that's in their way, which kind of goes with that notion the needs of the many outweigh the few, right? So
yeah, but that's so, as you said that, I'm like thinking Sheldon is so not like that. He doesn't care about the team because he operates so much better independently.
That's exactly what becomes of this.
So it's almost like an oxymoron that he wants to be the army ant.
Yeah. That's true. A little, what's the word? Paradoxical. That's not what he's, that's not him. But maybe that's what he's hoping for. He wishes he could be.
Well, as he wears command gold and everyone else is in support red. Whatever.
So what animals did you get?
Okay, so top 9. I'll try to breeze through this. 9 animals. Number 9, the anaconda, which is a giant snake.
It's got back.
Yep. Number 8, a grizzly bear. A grizzly bear can lift 1.1 times its own weight, and it weighs about 350 kilograms. And just for poundage, just double that. Well, times 2.2. Number 7, an ox. An ox can lift 1.5 times its weight. A tiger at 306 kilograms can carry twice its weight. Number 5, an elephant. It can weigh up to 6,530 kilograms and be up to 13 feet tall. Its trunk alone can weigh 200 kilograms, can carry 1.4 times its weight.
I love elephants. That's awesome.
And now this is where it gets crazy. So starting at number 4, the gorilla can weigh up to 200 kilograms and can carry 10 times its weight.
Wow.
And now we're at the ant. Number 3, the leafcutter ant. Weighs 500 milligrams, so super small. It's a milligram. So, and can carry 50 times its weight. And it's not even that it can carry that much weight, but it can carry it for a long distance.
Yeah, that becomes a big discussion of being able to keep the stamina up to carry it for long distance. And ants can apparently do that very well.
Yeah. But another site, jumping ahead, another site says that the strongest ant is actually the Asian weaver ant that can lift 100 times its weight. But that was not on this list. But number 2, the rhinoceros beetle only weighs 28 grams, which is about an ounce, and can carry objects 850 times its weight. And number 1, the dung beetle.
The dung beetle.
Only 21 grams and can lift objects 1,141 times its weight. So what is that? Let me see. Let's do a little bit of math.
That's a human. They can carry a human away.
Well, there's 21 grams times 1,141. So that's 23,961 grams. So if we do the grams to pounds calculator, I'll round up and say 53 pounds. This little thing that is under an ounce can lift 53 pounds.
That's terrifying.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So you're saying like hobbits could ride those into battle.
Yes.
Nice. All right.
And that is the strongest animal. Well, Sheldon suggests that the vote on the team should be unanimous. And once they figure out that if Sheldon doesn't get his way, he will quit and not do what they want, which becomes a common theme throughout the entire series.
And, you know, again, the irony that he wants to be the army ants, but it has to be his way.
Sheldon.
That's good writing.
All right, now we're at the physics bowl practice, where Penny is there being the host. But then she questions, how is Raj going to do this? If he can't talk, how is he going to be able to actually answer a question? So apparently they find out that he's okay with if women are mixed in the crowd. And he only has trouble when he's one-on-one and the woman smells nice.
They smell nice. I like that note.
Yeah. It's vanilla oil. But it was Leonard that noticed.
I was the one who noticed.
Yep, he's still super into her.
Yep. And I kind of like that we've detoured off their relationship a little bit in the past couple episodes, too. That if it was all them all the time, it would be...
Yeah, it's not a central focus.
Yeah.
Well, the first question. What is the shortest light pulse ever produced? And the answer is 130 attoseconds. And this is where we go into if we did research or not. This one I did because it was a little bit easier.
Yeah, this one was like the easiest of the bunch, wasn't it?
I'll let you take it.
You know, at the time, I believe this was true. That attoseconds... on May 1st, 2007, the shortest light pulse was 130. But then, as of recently, according to Sci.News, August 8th, 2017, the shortest is 53 attoseconds. And this was done by Professor Zhengyu Cheng at University of Central Florida. And I looked up a little bit about what an attosecond was. And my understanding is, or from what I found on these websites, 1 attosecond is to 1 second as 1 second is to 31.71 billion years.
Yeah. Wow.
So basically consider, I don't know, 30 billion years compared 1 second. That's how many it hits, how fast it goes every single second.
Jeez.
Something like that. It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, that's the easiest of all these, and that's the most I got out of it. That's a huge number. Yeah. And as we progress, they have gotten shorter to 53 attoseconds.
All right.
Do you find the same thing? Anything different?
Oh, I pretty much found the same thing. In comparison, a millisecond is 1/1000th of a second and is commonly... Wait, okay, sorry. An attosecond is 1/quintillionth of a second and is the term used in photon research. And a millisecond is 1/1000th of a second and is commonly used in measuring the time to read or write from a hard disk or a CD-ROM player, or the measure of a travel... or to measure packet travel time on the internet. Yeah, that's really all I got.
That's you feel like if you're
fast.
Counting
it's
time,
really fast.
Yeah, counting things in attoseconds, you'd be 1 minute would be an infinity, right?
Yeah,
like it's crazy. All right, so question 2.
What is the quantum mechanical effect used to encode data on hard drive disks? And the answer was a giant magnetoresistance.
Magnetoresistance.
I did no research on this. At this point, I stopped.
I did a little bit because I guessed magnetism. And I felt like that was close, but technically it's not right. The notion is giant magnetoresistance. I just remember that because it sounds like Magneto from X-Men.
Hell yeah.
Is, what do they call it? Also called GMR, when external magnetic fields changes the magnetization of layers relative to each other. So when different layers of an element are getting different magnetic principles, what's the word? Rules apply to them, different magnetic perceptions, whatever. And this makes sense with a hard drive because you have the spinning disk, which is called the plate or the platter. And one disk is divided into billions of little areas. And each area gets either magnetized or demagnetized. And if it's magnetized, it counts as a 1. If it's demagnetized, it's a 0. And so as the head's reading if it's magnetized or not, it's adding up all the 1s and 0s to gain information, which is the data that we compute on the computer. It also explains why if you apply a magnet too strong to a hard drive, it could corrupt the whole thing.
You magneto it.
I magnetoed my hard drive. Take that, X-Men.
Cool. Anything else on that?
That's all. We're getting into Howard trying to buzz in now, right?
Yep. He tries to buzz in, but Sheldon cuts him off. So then it puts into question of, shouldn't Howard be answering the engineering questions as an engineer? And then Sheldon has a snarky response. Then he should answer all the anthropological questions because he's a mammal. They brush it off as like, okay, whatever, let's just let it go. And then they ask the next question. What artificial satellite has seen glimpses of Einstein's predicted frame digging? And that's where Raj buzzes in, but Sheldon cuts in once again and answers Gravity B probe. Gravity Probe B.
Gravity Probe B. Did you do anything on this one?
No, because it's the name of a satellite, and I started looking into frame digging, and it was long.
I did a little bit. I can rush through it. There's basically, my understanding is this probe was launched in April 20th, 2004, and it was trying to prove Einstein's theory of relativity, Einstein's theories, by proving frame dragging and geodetic effect. But basically, the two things are the amount Earth's presence warps local space-time and the amount it drags space-time with it. So the notion is that Earth is so massive, it has gravity, and gravity is the distortion of space-time. That basically, if you looked at Earth on a two-dimensional sheet, it would be pulling the sheet down with it. And so these are wondering, how far does it pull space-time with it? And this Probe B, I couldn't figure out how exactly this worked, but it uses gyroscopes and a telescope to focus on one point star. And it's focused on this one star and measures it after a year. And depending on the gyroscopes and depending on how skewed they are, the gyroscopes are like these spinning things, it will let you know how much Earth has distorted the space-time field around our planet, and that this probe itself is being impacted by Earth dragging down the fourth dimension as we know it, or whatever dimension it is that we can't see or really understand. So, it's kind of cool to think that we have proven the Earth is so massive, well, I guess the sun too, it's distorting the way things interact around it, that the gyroscopes are being warped in their perception a little bit.
Very cool. Science.
So science. I just like this because it makes me think of Event Horizon, which if you're looking for a horror movie, that is always top rated, where they try to use black hole energy, force to create a wormhole in the dimension, in the universe, but instead they rip a hole into hell.
That is one of the first movies that ever kept me up at night. I watched that and I could not, because I saw it in middle school. Was that around the time it came out, or early? I saw it in like elementary or middle school. It came in like 97?
I think so. Yeah, I think I was like in middle school, and I went on a Sunday to see it with a friend. And it was like back in the days where kids could get into our movies because nobody really cared. And it was a Sunday, and there was nobody else in the theater. I tell you, watching a horror movie with a friend with nobody else was that got under my skin a little bit. I'm like, should we get help?
Oh my god! Yeah, so watch that if you want to be scared. All right, well, everyone starts getting mad at Sheldon for answering before them. But Sheldon doesn't need to be polite because this is war. If I know the answers, why shouldn't I give them? And then Sheldon starts mocking Howard because he doesn't have a PhD. I love this part. He gets up in anger, like he's going to throw down. Leonard just tells him to sit down, and then he does.
That really shows something about the dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah.
And so then, we have a point for not Sheldon here. And right. I put it in.
You're catching up to the non-Sheldon.
Right? This episode, he really went down in points. I'm not a ball hog. I have absolutely no interest in getting all the credit for something. And if I'm part of the team project, I'm happy with that. And I guess as a teacher, I think it's cool that if students get the credit for the work they do, I'm happy to see them succeed. I don't need to be like, hey, I'm the one who helped them.
I'm the teacher, so really, their success is my success.
Yeah, give me the credit. Like, that doesn't work for me. So, 1 point, not Sheldon.
Now Sheldon leaves to get his wrist brace because all this buzzing is aggravating his old Nintendo injury. And we already kind of talked about this in episode 7. We already discussed carpal tunnel syndrome and excessive video game playing. So if you haven't checked it out, check out our episode 7.
And we haven't heard any word that I recall when I was young, somebody calling it butcher's wrist, and nobody's chimed in any way, shape, or form. So I'm beginning to think I may have made that up. So I don't know. Let me know.
Yeah, it's just funny, like the things that you are exposed to or things that you hear as a child and that you carry with you like throughout like your entire life. I wonder how I'm going to do that with my kid. Am I going to end up telling him something that he just kind of carries on, and then in 20 years he'll talk about, be like, "Oh, kid, I just made that up."
I thought it was real. I was talking to somebody the other day that when I was young, I used to take things a lot more literally. And I remember when I was a kid, my dad would say this frequently, but I remember the first time he said it that I go, "Where's mom tonight?" Because he took me out for dinner or whatever. And he goes, "She ran off with a sailor." And it like traumatized me. My eyes like grew big. I'm like, "What?" And he just laughed and walked away. I'm like, "Is mom coming home?" So I'm hoping I can traumatize a kid someday like that too.
One day.
One day.
Well, Raj calls Sheldon a douche, and Penny agrees, and that he's also the bag that it comes in.
I like their little banter there. That it's something that you might apply for freshness on a summer eve. Yeah, that and the bag it came in.
Well, now Sheldon is designing their uniforms based off Star Trek, the original series. Of course, the group is wearing support red, and he wears command gold. And they all say AA. But why would our team name be named after anodized aluminum?
Could it mean anything else? No.
Well, I looked it up. I looked up the other potential abbreviations for AA. Apparently, there are 72 options on a Google search. But first off, I looked into anodized aluminum. Anodized aluminum is aluminum that has been treated to develop an exceptionally durable finish. To create anodized aluminum, you use an electrochemical process where the metal is immersed in a series of tanks, where in one of the tanks, the anodic layer is grown from the metal itself. And I didn't write down all 72 options, so I just grabbed a few of them. AA also means Associated Arts, American Airlines. It can be a referral to a bra size.
AA.
And Army Ants was on that list.
Wow.
It also went into celebrities. Amy Acker was on that list. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She was an Angel, the Buffy spin-off.
Was she which one was
Suits? She was on an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I haven't really seen her like be like the main character in anything.
Who was she? You? That was me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh no, sorry.
Who was she? An Angel.
She played Fred. She was the girl that got lost in that one dimension, and then they find her and take her back to Earth.
And she becomes the elder god who is reborn and does not like the world as it is, and she has purple hair.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I remember.
I love me some Angel. I know my Angel.
That's a great show. I actually have the box set.
Nice. I think I have like the first 2 seasons on DVD, and then I was like, why do I buy them if they're streaming? And that's like when streaming services start taking over.
I know. I bought a bunch of stuff, and then streaming became a thing, and now it's like, oh, do I just dump it? Like,
right?
But I don't want to dump it. It's a box set.
It's like I have the first 14 seasons of Family Guy. I'm like, do I get rid of them? Like, I was like, just 14 seasons. Those got me through college. Now? I have no... Let's see. Family
God, I loved Family Guy in college, but now that it's definitely college guy humor.
Yeah,
it's like it did not grow very well. I remember maybe 5 years ago I watched an episode and I was like, what the fuck?
They're on season 21.
Good for them.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're making it work.
Yeah. Yeah, not a fan anymore. I just can't get it.
Can't get it. Every now and then they have a joke that makes me laugh.
I'm too old.
That's why you need your kid. Make him laugh at it.
I'm not letting my kid watch Family Guy. I'm looking at the world so differently now. Now that like the kid's on the way, like everything that I look at in terms of how will this affect my child. Like, oh my, it's such a strange experience. But enough about parenting. Let's talk about the colors in Star Trek.
I was going to say, too, we can't leave out the number one AA, right? Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh,
right?
Yes, that is what they were referencing.
To. Yeah, and Sheldon never picked it up. So, lots of AAs, but Sheldon did not understand.
Nope.
So, colors in Star Trek.
All right. So here are so as non-fans, you and I noticed that they all wear different colors, very solid color shirts. But what do they all mean? So in the original series, red meant engineering, security, and communications. Blue is science and medical staff. Gold is command staff. And green is command staff formal. And then if you go to the next generation, red is command staff, blue is science and medical staff, and gold is operations and security staff. At least that's what I found online. I'm just going to go with it.
So I know the jokes about red shirts, right? That the red shirts in Star Trek are the ones to die off. Basically, if they get sent on a mission, they're the goners. The gold ones, they don't get hit. And it brings up that joke. Did you hear about the stormtroopers who got into the fight with the red shirts?
No.
The stormtroopers missed every single one. The red shirts died anyways. I have no idea where I heard that, and it probably took me a while to understand what a red shirt was from Star Trek, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, well then Leonard presents Sheldon with a cookie jar. Thus, the name of the episode. It is a Batman cookie jar, and he's presenting it just to kind of be nice, be friendly, and you're fired.
And you're fired. Oh, by the way, you're fired.
Yep, you're off the team, bro.
There was a team meeting.
But first off, this cookie jar does not look like it fits a lot of cookies. Just want to say that.
Cookie jars can have thicker ceramic or very thin ceramic, and so I wasn't able to tell, but I would say maybe a dozen. What do you think?
Just based off the shape of it.
It was an awkward shape.
He does say that he got some macaroons in it, so macaroons are a little on the smaller size. They're kind of like what? Usually 1.5 inches in diameter, so yeah.
They're thicker, but they're smaller in radius, right?
Yeah, so I guess that's all it's good for. But yeah, Sheldon tries to lawyer Leonard, and this is where I got to thinking, I wonder if Sheldon would have made a good lawyer, because he's very logical. He put the pieces, he was very quick about it too. It's like, the team couldn't have met, I'm on the team, and I wasn't there. Ergo, there was no team meeting. Sound logic.
It's logic. I have to say that, at least in the United States, a big portion of our court system is emotion-based, though. Especially when juries are involved. That you have logic as much as you can, but if you have somebody who looks sad and hurt, they're going to get the jury's attention. Yeah. So
yeah, that's actually why they always tell the defendant or someone to wear their nicest clothes, be emotional and everything like that.
Act like they care, because if they come in acting like they don't care, even judges are going to get frustrated and immediately sentence them as harshly as possible.
Then Sheldon would not make a great lawyer then.
It's a mix. He might be a good paralegal where he's doing all the work, but not actually arguing the case.
Yeah, because he wouldn't really fight for others. He would only fight for himself.
Yeah.
He's no army ant.
He's a gold shirt.
Well, why is Sheldon off? Because he's taking the fun out of it. But the winner isn't the one that has the most fun, it's the one that gets the most points. So again, Sheldon is trying to outlogic him. But Leonard responds, okay, you're annoying and no one wants to play with you. And then Sheldon declares war. It's on, bitch.
That's what I have underlined in big letters. It's on, bitch.
I love the little moments. I know it's simple, where they are like very formal and being scientific, and then they'll just flip a switch and be like casual to the extreme.
Let's throw some profanity in there.
Yeah. It's the Texan in Sheldon. It's on, bitch. All right, so then next scene. God, I forgot how it even came to this, but my notes skip ahead to say that Raj does an amazing laugh.
I love that. Sheldon is eating by himself, eating cookies out of the bat jar, right? And Leonard mentions he's not saying who's on his team. He's keeping it a secret. And they're like, what do we do? And that's where Raj is like, we should laugh maniacally at him, right?
Yes, that's what it was, yeah.
He'd go, that sounds like a woman who wants to make a coat out of your Dalmatians.
Yeah. Cruella DeVille.
And I thought about giving myself a point for being like Raj, but I was too close to last episode. And I feel like if it was the same thing both episodes where Raj thinks outside the box. And in the previous episode, he mentions that they have to get rid of the kid who is imposing on Sheldon. And so it's a little too close, but he's like, maybe we can get TV's Blossom or the girl from Wonder Years. And even when he said Blossom, I'm like, what about Winnie from the Wonder Years? She's smart.
Well, on that note, do you know who plays TV's Blossom?
No, I don't.
Mayim Bialik.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yep.
Mind blown! Spoiler! Wow!
I know!
Now that's amazing. So do you think they knew she was going to come on, or...
I don't think so.
It just became...
I think it's... And spoiler alert, I don't know if I should spoil this, but at some point, the girl from the Wonder Years will make an appearance at
That's awesome.
Yeah. What's her name? Shoot.
I'm going to look this up because I should know it.
She's super smart. Yeah.
Yeah. She just seems like... I didn't like Winnie on the Wonder Years, but I don't like the Wonder Years. But as a person, everything I hear about her sounds really cool.
Yeah, she wrote books on math.
Yeah. And it's weird too because I didn't like what's his name? Savage. Fred Savage on the Wonder Years. Yeah. But he, like everything else he's been in, I've liked him. I don't know why. It was just something about the Wonder Years did not do it for me.
I never watched the Wonder Years.
Danica McKellar. Winnie Cooper.
I think it's Danica.
Danica. That makes more sense.
Yeah. All right. So as they talk, as they strategize, they try to remember that not only is he's my friend, or he's our friend and my roommate. Well, so what? Yeah. But let's destroy him. And I would want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Then Sheldon walks by and Raj does his laugh. So they still need a fourth. And they think of Leslie Winkle. So the return again of Leslie Winkle.
She's great. She is a great find on the show.
Yep. Raj is very blunt. Because Leonard asks, like, well, we can't ask her. He's like, well, why? And because you slept with her, and when she was done with you, she discarded you like last night's chutney. It's like, yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, they tell Leonard to sack up and ask her anyways. And they all approach her. And Howard, being inappropriate, saying, like, oh, would it be weird because you hit that thing? It's like, dude, what the fuck, man?
I like it when Leonard goes, I'll take one for the team in the sack.
Oh, I forgot to do research on this. I forgot this one. But Leslie says that she's busy because she's too busy with her like sign Dileptin supersymmetry research.
This was the hardest one for me.
Okay, because I marked it down that I was going to come back to it and research it, but I completely forgot. Shit. Sorry, everyone.
The most I could think of, and I do apologize for this being brief because it's just very confusing, but Dilepton is Lepton, my understanding is Lepton is considered like a coin, where both side A and B are sides of the same coin. And a lepton is the multiple charges in a particle or an item, I don't know, causing it to exist or something. So a dilepton is the particle and the antiparticle created together and existing. And I'm guessing a like sign dilepton supersymmetry would potentially be two regular particles that exist together, or two antiparticles that exist together. Because as far as I know, you need a particle and an antiparticle for existing. But again, this was way over my head and very confusing.
I love how scientists just add super in front of things.
Supersymmetry.
Supersymmetry. Super solid.
And then I got a bunch of stuff like on the moon, and I don't know why, because maybe I misspelled something, but like everything's like, what is this super symmetrical moon? I'm like, I don't think that's what she was talking about, but maybe she was. If you guys know it was a moon thing, let me know.
All right. Well, once Leslie finds out that it's against Sheldon Cooper, she's in. Because apparently he told her to give up science and lead a life of laundry and childbearing.
And I do
I did not expect that out of... I mean, I know he's a Texan, but I didn't expect him to be that forward on being sexist.
Especially to Leslie, right? Because she is top of her class.
Yeah. But then again, I don't necessarily think that he dislikes her because she's a woman. I think he dislikes her because she's a threat. Ooh. And I feel like he's kind of childish. So then, like, he just kind of took a low blow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that's all he got. You know, it's like, I don't know how to attack you otherwise. Because we will find out over and over again that Leslie actually is smarter than Sheldon.
Yeah. And I can see that he attacks Howard for being an engineer. And it was in the last episode where Raj's job can be replaced with a computer program. So it's with Leslie, he has nothing except that she's a woman, and so he's going for the low blow.
Yeah.
I was going to take a step back and say that I loved Leslie saying that Leonard does not need to be embarrassed because they've seen each other in the sweet agony of coitus. The sweet agony. Oh yeah.
Sweet agony.
And it just like makes me think of Leonard's face. Like, what was he doing?
Would you like to perform some sweet agony later?
I'm in for some sweet agony if you are.
I think that's going to be our intro.
Sweet agony.
Well, now we're at the Science Bowl. Sheldon arrives in command gold, and Raj does his laugh. Some psychological warfare. And Sheldon's team shows up in support red. Because the rules require a team of 4. So they have the janitor, the lunch lady, and either her son or her butcher. The janitor is just sitting... Oh, sorry.
I did a partial IQ point on that.
Yeah.
Because son... Well, I don't like it when things do other languages and make it... People screw up the translation so much. I'm like... I was watching a movie the other day and the guy's like, oh, I think I remember this. And he says something, and it was something like... I slept with your mother, your sister, and your cousin. And I'm like, that sounds nothing like where's the bathroom. So, like, it's not funny to me. In this case, son is Hio, and butcher is Carnicero. And so they are completely different. And saying that either it's a son or butcher, to me was like, that is, like, completely disregarding what they sound like. I don't think that like, and Sheldon's smart enough to know language at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, you'd think for as smart as he is, being a Texan, that he would have just learned Spanish. But then again, I would imagine he thinks that foreign language is probably dumb.
And so, but
it's not sciencey enough.
Son or butcher, they just were not close enough for me to realistically think. That took me a little bit out of the moment. Like those don't sound the same. I've taken quite a bit of Spanish. I don't know it though. It like all left my brain. I stopped using it. It's gone.
I wish I took Spanish, especially like working in kitchens. It would have been so useful. I took French because my high school offered college credits in French only. So that's why I took French, because it's like, well, I know I'm going to try to go to college, so I might as well just crank out this credit so I don't have to take it again.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That's the only reason why I took it. And now I don't remember French.
Was I talking about on the podcast last time about Latin?
Yeah.
That my high school offered Latin, and I'm like, it's a dead language. There's no reason to take it. And I had friends like, no, it's awesome. Like, yeah, I'm not going to go. I'm not taking that. So
I commented Spanish on you saying Latin.
Latin. There we go. Yeah, that's what it was.
Along with button.
Button. Knew it came from somewhere. Anyways, partial IQ point. Son and butcher do not sound similar to me. And I'm not even fluent in the language.
Well, I guess I can see it because Sheldon probably doesn't. I guess if you say it fast enough, it might sound similar if you're not paying attention. So I could picture Sheldon not paying attention to anything that they're saying.
That's fair. And the fact that it doesn't matter what they're saying or how they sound. He's not paying attention, so he just makes assumptions.
Yeah, I need 3 other people to just sit there quietly.
Yeah.
So the janitor just sits there. The lunch lady is just knitting, and either her son or her butcher straight on puts headphones on and just stares off into the distance. So the teams and Sheldon and Leslie encounter each other, and they start antagonizing each other. Sheldon says, well, I'm a polymerized tree sap and you're an inorganic adhesive, so whatever verbal projectile you launch in my direction is reflected off me, returns on its original trajectory, and adheres to you. It's pretty much I'm rubber and you're glue.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
I just put a note here that Sheldon is scared of Leslie. I love it.
Yes, very scared, as he should be. And we have the return of Gablehauser as the judge.
The judge.
They show their shirts, PMS t-shirts.
I love that. I love that they went with Provincial Motion Squad. We can go all night on the back of it.
And it's a couple days early for Leslie. She's smart and witty.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
She just went with it. She's okay. Look.
So PMS for the Perpetual Motion Squad. So it's AA versus PMS. So I will comment that Howard still has his dickie on, even though he's wearing like a t-shirt.
I mentioned that too, that later on we see it even more so that it's a dickie.
When were dickies popular?
I've never even seen one for sale.
Like, where did he get them?
Yeah, where do you get a dickie? Email us with your best find. Where can we get the best deals on dickies?
If we get some dickies, maybe we'll post it on our Instagram page. I'll support it.
Us with nothing but dickies.
You know what? Winter is here.
Winter's come.
My neck needs a little bit of warmth.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get like a little pin. I don't know if you noticed, but Howard always has a pin on his dickie too.
No, I didn't notice. I'll be paying attention to that.
Yeah, so he always has a belt buckle on, and he always has a pin on his dickie.
Oh. Makes sense.
All right. Competition begins. 10 points. What is the isospin singlet partner of the Pi Zero meson? And this is where the answer is the Eta meson. I did no research on that.
I have these
just
are
took it for what it was worth.
subatomic particles, and then a big "what the fuck" question mark. So that's all I got for that one. I'm gonna say yes. Well, you win.
I know we promised our audience some IQ points. I feel like this episode we really failed them.
We tried. This is why we need PhDs.
Yeah. Please just know that all these things in the Big Bang Theory, like all the sciencey stuff, has been confirmed to be real things and accurate. So we won't dive too far into the, like, honestly, the sciencey things are my least favorite IQ points. Yeah. I'm loving, like I said, I already did the research on the next episode. I had so much fun doing things that are pointless.
Don't blame Rob. Rob took French in high school.
What do I know? All right. Well, Sheldon tries to protest this because PMS got the answer right. But then his Velcro on his wristband got caught on the table. So, too bad. And then the next question, 10 points. What is the lightest element on Earth with no stable isotope? And the answer is technetium.
I got a very brief IQ point on this. I mean, it's a true answer. It just is. It's got the atomic number 43, and all of its isotopes are radioactive. Basically, all of its electrons, right, are spewing off it at all times. So it's a radioactive element that is the lightest one on Earth.
Next question. What is the force between two uncharged plates due to a quantum vacuum fluctuation? And Sheldon can suck it on the Casimir effect.
What'd you get on this one?
Nothing.
I
feel like I didn't do these because the question kind of answers it. It's kind of like Jeopardy. So it's like, well, is there really... I know we could deep dive into it, but that the Casimir effect is the force between two uncharged plates due to quantum vacuum fluctuation. So it's like, well, that's kind of the answer. So
and I don't know what that means, but the pictures, you can look it up, and there's like two plates, and like in between the plates there's like surge and force, and on the outside there's force, and it's called the Casimir effect. That's just what it is.
Well, just like us, Penny is getting bored. And the guys are now at 350 points. And now the next question is, how does a quantum computer factor large numbers? And the answer is Shor's algorithm.
It's another one. It's just true, right? It's
that's
algorithm for finding prime factors of an integer. It just yeah.
So then they kind of go back and forth with short cutscenes with all of them getting correct answers. Howard gets his second warning of being inappropriate. All while Penny is still falling asleep. So now they're at the final question. AA has 1,150 points, and PMS has 1,175 points. And they didn't show any fluctuation of the points other than 10 points. So I kind of wondered, I was like, well, I bet they probably did. They probably changed them to 20, 30 points.
I don't even remember seeing the points in general, so I wasn't paying attention to that.
Okay. Well, if they stuck with 232, or if they stuck with every question being 10 points, it would have been 232 and a half questions being asked. So I'm guessing that they fluctuated a little bit.
Things got to have multipliers, right? So like in the third round, second round, it's more. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, final question. It's neck and neck. Gablehauser unleashes a board, and they are to solve the equation, and no one can solve it. Leonard is pressing Leslie to hurry up, and Leslie responds, "I'm never going to get there if you rush me." And Leonard says, "You're never going to let that go, are you?" And then Leonard panics, buzzes, and he weakly guesses 8.4. It is wrong.
He starts off with 8, right?
And 8. Then confusion in Gablehauser's eyes.
Point?
And then they notice that Sheldon can't get the answer either.
We got 1 point for Sheldon here.
Ah.
Yeah, this is if you notice Sheldon, he is he's twitching a little bit, right?
Yeah.
When I get stressed out, my eye starts twitching and I get all kind of crinked up, and how some people are like, "Oh, we can't really tell." I think they can, and I can feel it. And the thing is, when your eye's twitching, it feels like the whole world can tell your eye's twitching. So I am going to say I start twitching under stress. For that,
I kind of want to see that.
That's what my doctor said.
Well, the janitor buzzes in and he answers correctly that it is -8 pi alpha.
I did nothing with that equation. There's no way to even begin it. Yeah.
Well, in the former Soviet Union, he was a physicist. Leningrad Polytechnia. Go Polar Bears.
Go Polar Bears.
So I looked into this if this was a real school. So I think it is, and I think it just had a name change.
Yeah, that's my understanding too.
Yeah, so it was renamed to St. Petersburg Technical Institute. It was Leningrad from 1924 to 1991, and the university had a name change. But then it flip-flopped its name multiple times. But I don't know if they were the polar bears then, but right now it's the two-headed eagle.
I could find nothing about polar bears, but it makes sense with the fall of the Soviet Union for name changes to be exhibited at that time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I know, that was an actual school, and I got the same thing, St. Petersburg. Yeah, but nothing about polar bears.
Couldn't find it. It must be lost in history.
It's gone now. You're gonna have to let it go.
Well, Sheldon will not accept this. He rules with an iron fist, slams his hand down, and hurts himself. Because he can't let somebody else claim the victory.
And all the ways I saw this going, I didn't picture it as him losing to his teammate. That him being so egotistical that he wants the credit for it all, that he would rather disclaim his teammate than to win. So I was kind of surprised, but I really liked the ending. I thought it was going to come up where that PMS had the right answer or a partial answer. I'm not sure, but this got me very surprised. I enjoyed the teammate knowing the answer.
Yeah, it's very I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like any sports game. It doesn't matter how many points you get during the game. It's that game-winning point where you become immortalized. So Sheldon didn't want somebody else to claim that.
Yeah, he wanted it for himself. His hubris devoured him.
Yep. And PMS is the winner. He'd rather lose by himself than win in a team. And then in the background plays We Are the Champions. Who knows how much they had to pay to get the rights to play that. And Howard rips off his shirt and everyone is just like, what the hell?
And that's where the Dickie comes in.
Yep. Was that a reference to Mia Hamm?
I didn't pick it up.
Oh, it was like the soccer player for the women's team. That after they won, she like ripped off her shirt.
I think
but she didn't rip it off. She just took it off.
That was later, right? I'm gonna look this up.
Race, yeah.
No, like it wasn't even a big deal, but people made
1999.
That was 99?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember seeing there was an episode based on that in Fresh Off the Boat.
Interesting.
It was how one of the kids discovered he likes soccer. Wink, wink.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably just it probably wasn't a reference to that, but that's just what I thought about.
It could have been. And I mean, the notion is that guys do that all the time in soccer, right? Where sports in general rip their shirts off when they're winning, like, and pour, what is that? Not High C, but Gatorade all over their coach.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, some connection to it. Some connection. Can't believe that was that far long ago. Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, ending scene. Leonard is rubbing in his trophy to Sheldon. Sheldon is a poor loser. And I noticed that Sheldon does not sit in his spot.
Because he has the trophy there.
Well, I think Leonard is just sitting there, and then he's just kind of dangling or waving it in front of him.
I thought you said, you can't sit there. My trophy's sitting there.
Oh, shoot, did he?
Something like that. Maybe I'm just confusing it with like Forrest Gump.
Can't sit here. Well, anyways, Penny enters with her own test. She asked them, Marcia, Jan, and Cindy were 3 daughters in what TV family? The answer is
Brady Bunch.
Next question. Sammy Hagar replaced David Lee Roth as lead singer in what group? Answer is...
I didn't know this one.
Van Halen. Well, I didn't know either, but she says it.
She says it, yeah.
Madonna was married to this Ridgemont High alum.
Sean Penn.
I knew that one.
I didn't. I was thinking the only person... She was married to Guy Ritchie for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like director. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. So,
and then they're just kind of like confused and blown away. Like, how do you know these things? And Penny is like, I go outside and talk to people.
I go out and talk to people.
So then she asked the next question: What actor holds the record named People's Sexiest Man Alive?
And they start off with William Shatner.
If not him, then it's Patrick Stewart.
I would have gone with Patrick Stewart. Love that guy.
Well, anyway, I looked into who the sexiest man alive was. So I actually looked into all of them because I found an article that listed off every year. So this was in 2008. So I'm guessing she was referring to the 2007.
Yeah,
because it would probably already happened and everything was already in the articles. But in 2007, it was Matt Damon. Then in 2008, Hugh Jackman. 2009, Johnny Depp. 2010, Ryan Reynolds. 2011, Bradley Cooper. 2012, Channing Tatum. 2013, Adam Levine.
Oh.
Ryan no likey. Is it because he's been in the news?
A little bit. I don't know. It's just there's something there that I'm just gonna leave with the
Okay. 2014, Chris Hemsworth. 2015, David Beckham. 2016, The Rock. 2017, Blake Sheldon.
What?
That one I don't get. I can see him being a cool guy, like being down to earth and everything. You want to hang out with him, but like the sexiest man alive. Sorry, Blake. Not to be a hater, but
yeah.
Wow. All right. 2018, Idris Elba.
Who's that?
29. Idris Elba. What was he in? He's in a lot of things. I don't know why I'm blanking. The one that I know is most noteworthy is a show that you don't watch. He was in The Office. He was in Thor. He's in a new movie out about lions, where he's being attacked by lions. What show was he on? It was what was that one cop show that everybody loved? It was on HBO.
I was going to say Reno 911, but that was Comedy Central. So
it was a serious one about like Boston cops. Somebody out there is screaming into their radio.
As they should. Email us. We need your help.
All right, IMDb this. He was the bad guy in one of the Fast and the Furious. No, it wasn't Fast and the Furious. It was the one with Sean Deckard. I don't know why I'm having it's been a long few weeks. I'm sorry.
I don't know where I am right now.
All right, he's in. All right, Luther is what I think he was famous for. Was like a British show. Hobbs and Shaw is the Fast and the Furious one. Dark Tower. Oh, he was in Star Trek Beyond.
He has managed to be like... Oh, he was in Pacific Rim.
How great was Pacific Rim?
I loved it.
The first one.
Yeah.
Not the next one.
Just the first one. It had everything. Big robots, giant kaijin, monsters, and what's his name from Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, Charlie Day?
Yeah. That's everything I need in a movie.
Yeah. All right, well, Idris Elba is a sexy dude. Christina doesn't really talk about guys that she's attracted to, but when she saw him, she was like, "Oh my!"
Oh, he was rolling in the Dark Tower. It's like the one movie nobody else has seen. I
fell asleep through it.
Really, I loved it. I'm like, if I would have seen this as a 10-year-old boy, this would have been my movie. There's
okay, so
girls, there's gunslinging, there's monsters. As an adult movie, it's okay, but as a kid's movie, whoa!
Yeah, definitely. This was around the time where I was going to the movie theater a lot, and you know how I pack a flask?
Oh yeah.
This was also that time where I was young enough where I was kind of just slipping into other theaters. Just kind of bouncing around. That's how you spend a Saturday afternoon kind of thing.
I've never done that. That's probably going to be a Sheldon point at some point, but I've always been afraid of getting caught doing something like that. And every time somebody says no, you never get caught, I have sat down with people who have told me that, and as they tell me it, somebody gets escorted out of the theater for being caught.
I've never seen somebody get escorted out.
Really? No, it happens all the time. I'm watching. That's why I don't do it. I'm not going to be that
guy. Oh, I've never done this part. I will always pay for the first ticket. and then kind of just bounce around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was listening to this other I was listening to that How I Met Your Mother podcast. Yeah. And one of the hosts has this trick where she'll get popcorn, because I guess she'll always just get popcorn, and then she'll just walk up and say, "Hey, I was just grabbing popcorn," and just walk in.
That's fair.
But she's paying for the popcorn,
right? So and that's more expensive than the ticket. That's more than the
ticket. Unless she saves her popcorn bag.
Ooh.
And then walks in, gets a refill, and then leaves.
Diabolical. We haven't used that bag in 10 years. Where'd you get that?
I remember I grew up going to this theater that had the monster buckets. And it was in it was in the shape of Frankenstein. It was so cool. They need to bring stuff like that back.
Right? Do you remember the Bigfoot pizza from Pizza Hut?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'm like, I need something that says Bigfoot on it that's like a huge square. I don't care if it tastes good. I just...
All right, back to Sexiest Man.
All right, yeah.
All right, 2019, John Legend. 2020, Michael B. Jordan. And this last year, 2021, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, well, Paul Rudd doesn't age, so that's fair.
Yeah, he definitely does not. But for the most part, I agree with this list. With the exception of the Adam Levine.
That one's...
I don't know. He's an attractive dude if he just doesn't talk, I guess.
He's like, okay. Although I saw him in this movie where...
He was in a movie?
Yeah, he was in a movie with... who plays the Hulk? Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, him and the woman from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley. He's Ruffalo's a music producer, and she's a musician, and she's dating Adam Levine. And for the first part of the movie, I didn't even know it was him. I don't know why. If I wasn't expecting him to be in a movie, or I believe he had like thick hipster glasses. That I was just like, whoa, that's him. And it's excellent soundtrack. But I
kind of remember that. I remember Keira Knightley actually sang in that.
Yes, yeah, she did. And she did a great job. I thought she did. The whole soundtrack was amazing.
It's hard to scroll through his IMDb because it's just nothing but Maroon 5 stuff.
Oh no. And that's why he should not have been the sexiest man. No, I don't know if that's why, but you can delete that.
I really enjoyed... I don't know if people are going to hate on me for this, but I really enjoyed their first two albums. I never got beyond that, but the first two albums I thought were really good.
They have some songs that are catchy. I don't necessarily dislike them. It's just... I don't know. I don't see him as the sexiest man alive for a year. Any year. Even in a bad year. It's called Begin Again.
What year was that?
2013.
Begin Again. He played Dave. Good old Mark Ruffalo's in that.
See, compare Adam Levine to Mark Ruffalo. I feel like Ruffalo is up there with...
Haley Steinfeld's in that too. Damn. What other Avenger is in there?
They're all in there. This was the beginning of the Marvel Universe. It was also...
James Corden's in there.
A musical.
Yeah. Catherine Keener? I should check this movie out.
Yeah. I thought it was superb. It's nothing like super amazing. It's just like a good movie, solid, and Ruffalo and Knightley pull off great characters. Don't expect like a romance between them. It's just... people helping people, and Adam Levine not looking like himself, but also being human.
Gonna look for a picture of him. He's got like a big beard.
Oh yeah,
He still looks like him, though.
Like once you know it's him, it's just him with the glasses. No, it's him at the beginning with the glasses. That's
okay, I see him.
Right?
Oh, wow, that doesn't look like him at all.
It doesn't look like him at all. I don't even know how to begin to describe to our readers that look up this movie, and him at the beginning does not look like Adam Levine.
He must become more Levine-like as the movie progresses.
That is the origin story of Levine.
He gets more and more tattoos all over him, too.
He is part of the Marvel comic universe. He's coming, I tell you.
He's the new... He's going to be the Phase 5 bad guy. Well, which singer... I'm trying to move on, but it's hard to... Which singer sang Oops, I Did It Again? And then Sheldon's face starts twitching again in frustration.
The twitching, I know that all too well.
And then she just moves on and says, Tweety Bird thought he saw a what? And the answer...
Romulan. Yes, he saw a Romulan.
The end.
The end.
We made it.
We made it. We didn't get all the IQs, but we made it through the episode.
Yeah, this one was... I really enjoyed the episode. I did not enjoy going through all that sciencey stuff because it was it's really hard to like put all the science stuff into layman's terms.
Yeah.
To like make it understandable and to like how do you sum these things up in like 3 or 4 sentences?
And we're not corresponding with experts or anything. We're trying to do the research ourselves. So, and when they have like back-to-back scientific things, it's like my brain melted a little bit. You know, I tried.
Yeah.
But
it's hard because you want to take the time to like learn it and research it, but then life happens.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just sitting in front of the computer trying to decipher this for like a half hour, and then it's like, well, I gotta make dinner, or I gotta clean, I gotta do laundry.
You gotta go have a baby.
Yeah, have a baby. And soon, I can't wait to like. I told Christina that when we record, I'll watch the baby. I'll just put the bassinet like right next to me,
just rock it very slowly.
Yeah. I got this. This kid's gonna know my voice.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, what'd you think of this one? Overall thoughts.
I liked it. Not as well as last week's or last one's, but it's still it's up there for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really like this one. I love, like I said in the beginning of this episode, I like seeing Sheldon get his comeuppance. I like seeing him lose because he's so arrogant. He just constantly thinks that he is the best in his, not even really in his field. I mean, I guess he doesn't think of any other field as important. So his field is the only thing that matters, and he thinks that he's the best. So it's good to kind of ground him a little bit. Mm-hmm. Except I feel like he never learns. I feel like nothing ever humbles him out.
Right? He just keeps going and doubles down on his whatever it takes, and then he starts twitching his face and...
And I really enjoyed seeing all of them excel in their, in quotes, sport.
Yeah.
Like, this is their world. They're like almost the celebrities. It's like what Penny said. They're the cool guys.
They're the cool ones.
In their field.
And I'm still aiming with Raj being my favorite. I love his maniacal laugh.
Oh, that was my favorite part too. All right, so let's tally everything up. I'll count the IQ points, and you count up your Sheldon points.
So right now, we are standing at 15 points, me being not Sheldon, and 16 points, me being Sheldon. He's still winning, but not by as much. It's gaining a little bit, not being him.
All right, if we don't count all the Science Bowl questions, we're at 8.
At 8?
And we have about two partials.
That's fair. That's a hefty amount, and the Science Bowl questions were over the top. They were, if you want to know the answers, go get a PhD.
Like, each question could be a half-hour episode in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to crank through this and get through the episode. I guess it's more important to talk about the episode.
Yeah. We're not here to talk about Science. Well, yeah, we are, but you know, you get it.
I definitely have like to give everybody a little sneak peek. My superlative for favorite IQ point is definitely not science based.
Oh,
I'll give you a hint. It's one of the comic book ones. Unless something comes up in the next few episodes, I already know which one mine is.
It's what IQ means.
It is not.
We already talked about it. It's not going to be that one. I'm not allowed to pick it either.
Such a cop-out. All right. Well, anything else?
I think that's all I have for this time.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for dealing with our tangents. I feel like we went on a lot. We derailed a lot more this episode. So hopefully everybody enjoys that. If not, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Or at least send us an email about it. Tell us. Yeah. Talk to us.
You know what? If you don't like it, you better email us.
Yeah.
And you better give us a 5-star review, and then maybe we'll change our minds.
That's the only way we'll change. And tell us where to find some Dickies.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks again for listening. Please leave a review on Apple. We're also on Spotify and Stitcher. Follow us on Instagram. Again, that's at Theoretical Nonsense Pod. Send us that email at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. See you next time when we talk about Season 1, Episode 14, The Nerdvana Annihilation.
Woohoo!
Thanks
See you
for listening. This was Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD necessary. Our intro and outro music is by Alex Grohl, and our logo is by John Kim. Thanks for listening. It's on.